Taylor. I'm from YouTube, TikTok. It's Tay Tay Baby is where you can find me. I'm 27 years old. I'm from Los Angeles, California.
Hey, it's Kellen, and today on Diversified Game. Oh, I love talking with influencers because they are the now and the future. To get paid from home or wherever you do your thing. This influencer I found because of an advertiser who advertises with one of my clients, maybe some of our clients. But Chris, shout out to you. We got her on.
Yeah.
Tay Tay. No, don't have me start singing. That yeah, don't have me start singing. Yeah, but she has a YouTube channel. You probably can catch her on most of the social media outlets. I say that because there's a new one being born every day, but she's going to give us the game. And she has a great personality, like even off air. Like there's many of you influencers, some even pay me. You guys need to take a lesson because her personality, especially from being from California, I'm from Oakland. So especially from being from California, very nice. Oh my goodness. The Black and Mexican mix is beautiful. Bonita. But welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing lovely. Thank you for asking. How are you?
Blessed by the best every day. Every day. Tell me and tell us, because we're going to get into it, but I think on the surface, people might see like even, they see the tattoos and they might say, oh man, what is this? A biker chick? How'd you get into, social media and tell us just kind of about your journey?
Okay, well, first and foremost, I was never really a big social media person. I had social media, but I didn't post as much. And when I did have TikToks, it would be like voiceovers because I was embarrassed to talk or like embarrassed to say certain things. And one day I was on TikTok and, during quarantine time, there was that I hate men trend that went around. I said, man, I'm kind of getting tired of the way these girls are talking. Let me get in on this. But I was so shy and so like, I couldn't do it. I was whispering at the camera, but my video went viral. Ever since then, I just took off from there. And yeah, been defending men, advocating for men and mental health since.
Wow, defending men. Now let's talk about that because the men who are, and everybody knows the late great Kevin Samuel, somebody that, I knew. I had conversations before he was famous. People are like, so it's got one side, either you hate women, this is the men, right? And the women need to do this and they need to do that. Then you have the other side. And so where do you find yourself where you had to defend them? Did you find so many like women who were bashing men or were men bashing men?
So when I go on TikTok or like social media in general, I do see some men bashing women, but I've noticed a lot of women use their platforms to bash men. And there's a lot of that hashtag kill all men trend and all that stuff. I was like, dude, this is getting way out of hand. Y'all are going out of line. So at that point, I was like, dude, this is too much. And when men speak on things, they're misogynistic, they're crazy, they're this, you guys shouldn't speak, you guys shouldn't have a voice, all this stuff. You guys can never have a voice of your own. So I'm like, you know what? I feel like people listen when women speak, but my approach with things, sometimes I be going off at the mouth sometimes. Oh, most of the time.
Okay. And I mean, what do you think that is coming from where if men speak up for themselves, because I have my own thoughts, but I want to know yours.
Okay.
Like when men speak up for themselves, like, why is that like now toxic? Like, that's what people are saying. That's toxic behavior because boys are being boys.
I don't know. I think because a lot of women either see too many things on TV or I know things happen in life. But I think that they're so used to seeing stuff like that they don't want men to have a voice and maybe get too out of character. But in all reality, men should be able to speak just like we should. They don't have to yell or be angry to get their point across. But if you let them speak, they do have a voice. They should be able to speak on the things that, need to be fixed. If men can't speak on things, how are we able to fix those things as women? So if women don't want to hear it, it's like a circle we're going around and we're never going to learn from each other, if that makes sense.
No, it makes total sense because even if you were a full-blown white supremacist Klansman, I want to hear what you have to say. And I've interviewed those people as well on a more professional type level, but I've talked to them personally as well and talked to even elders who their fathers they've seen kill Black people during the civil rights and spray them when they're marching nonviolent and seeing the tears come out of their eyes like, I never will go back to Mississippi again after I was 18, is what they told me. So, I mean, it's like, I want to hear all sides now, but you're a woman, so you can tell us those personal conversations that the women are saying, why they're talking like this, because I assume that there has been some major hurt behind, those women when they do that.
Of course, I fully agree on that one too. Yeah, I do have the perspective on that too. I try not to, I hope that people understand where I'm coming from, that I'm not trying to out women, things like that. It's just, I'm shedding light on topics that need to be talked about so that way men can learn to understand how we are and love us better, especially if we're not healed, or especially if we're trying to be healed, just things like that. I have so many videos on my YouTube about all this stuff.
And you guys go check out the YouTube because it's blazing, it's popping. Do not let her, and I don't mean even the tattoos, but your face, people might say, oh, what is this, another Instagram girl? No, she's not doing the splits twerking that I've seen on her Instagram. But she is over 142,000 strong on just YouTube, and she has, the Instagram and all that, and she's given game that it's like, okay, I can get down with that. But with your own being, did you have a man in your life? Was your father there? Did you have tios, uncles, all that were, strong men that you saw that were good examples? And maybe that's why you can say, I can defend men because they're not all bad.
My grandpa, I'm really close to one of my brothers. Yeah, and then now my dad. I didn't know my dad until I was 23 years old, but I know him now and we're pretty cool. So yeah, but my grandpa is he was like my father growing up. He basically raised me. So yeah, him.
Okay, so abuelo, yeah. So with this, what are you seeing as far as, you have the YouTube, it's popping, people are commenting. You're also, tell people, in a therapist. I don't want to say in therapy, but to be a therapist, you got to be in therapy. Yes. At times. Talk about that part of you, because I bet that's shocking to people when they see you and they're like, therapy? Why you got all them tattoos in?
I'm dead. So yes, I always, when I was younger, I wanted to be a social worker. But as I gotten older, I still kind of want to dip and dabble into that. I was like, man, you know what? I've noticed that I'm the friend that everybody goes to about advice, everything. I'm very to myself, and I read a lot now, so I'm more educated. Now I'm studying to be a therapist. I want to help counsel couples and then help with men's mental health. So all this stuff for me, I'm trying to build a platform, make a good amount of money on YouTube so that I can help fund something for men later in the future. Because I feel like there's all these programs for women, like groups and things like that. It would be nice to have a funded program by somebody that men can go to, minorities, Black kings, things like that. I would love to do something like that with my life. So yeah, just being able to help people and stuff like that.
And for all the folks curious, what stage are you in? Because to be a therapist, people, I've done counseling, drug rehab, Phoenix Academy, Sisters of Providence, Methodist Children's Home when I was in school until, maybe I got to grad school and had to get real tough in this business. But it's a process where it's yeah. So what problem?
So like when I first started this, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna have to take so my friend told me you can go online courses because I work a lot and you could do like a 6 to 8 week course. I said, no, you can't. I go on there. You have to do mental health, what else, all this other stuff, couples counseling, all these other things. So I'm dabbling into psychology first, then I'm doing mental health next, and then I'm gonna do advocating for men. So you have to go through all these obstacles before you can actually become a therapist. So it's gonna be a while before I'm there. But I'll let you guys know when I am there.
Yeah, folks like to laugh sometimes at the great Umar Johnson, whatnot, however you guys take it. And he always mentions his accolades, but he has a lot of education. So are you going the route? Are you doing the bachelor's and the master's and the PhD? What's your plan?
I would like to get a bachelor's, honestly. I would love to get a bachelor's right now, but I'm letting you know now, I'm my own VA, my own everything. So social media, this, and then my sessions on top of that. Oh man. My schedule was I'm talking about booked for the next month, I think already.
Okay. And yeah, I got some interviews and some people that, they'd love to say, Kellen, tell her about my virtual assistants and how we can help her out because, you can get labor for cheaper for certain things nowadays. But what do you think? Because I've been in situations, Phoenix Academy, which is a big organization for drug rehab. And with all my education, I've met many people who do counseling, and, you know, they were getting paid sometimes the same amount of money, and they didn't have a bachelor. So there's many ways, and sometimes your experience, like, the world needs you now. So what do you think? Like, do you think the bachelor's kind of just validates you, or just gives you more book information?
Well, at least for me, when I first was doing it, because I see Kevin Samuels and a lot of people, just like you said themselves, who just do it and give advice. I personally want to dip and dabble strictly, especially into men's mental health. And as I talk to you about this privately, I'm a suicide survivor. So if I'm going to be talking about stuff like that and trying to lead somebody who has had those issues like BPD or schizophrenia or things like that, I don't want to not have the educational background, get in trouble for something like that. And, you know, that's something serious, and I take this personal, you know what I mean? So I want to be able to help people and lead them into the right direction. So that will at least help me say, you know what, I have the platform and everything for it, you know, the educational background, everything. So I would love that, you know.
Okay. And education never hurts. I mean, because you got to think about, you know, 20 years, 40 years from now, and you're like, yeah, I'm doctor, and whether I'm writing books or I'm doing YouTube, you're going to pay me. You're going to pay me a little more, and you're going to put some respect on my name. But I can hear a hater right now say, well, see, I knew she wasn't going the full traditional route that I went. But we have to remember, one of the most paid people we know, Ayana Fix My Life, has no degrees, you know, no bachelor's for that. And she's on, you know, Oprah, when Oprah's your friend and you can make a deal. So, you know, I say, do not despise people where they're at. Don't look down on them. And we thank you for your service, for those who do have your degrees and paying Sally Mae that. Yeah. Now, what are you seeing though? Like, where's the disconnect between the men and the women? Because right now online, the argument seems to be around a bunch of single people when I see it. And I'm like, it's like the Bloods and Crips, and y'all don't own no blocks. Or the Vice Lords and Latin Kings. Y'all don't own no blocks. Y'all don't have no marriage, but you're telling everybody what should happen. So where is the disconnect?
So I feel like the big disconnect for one is social media. Everybody is so used to doing this that we do not know how to interact anymore. Do you know how many women and men I've met in real life and can't hold a conversation? So I also feel this. You watch so much social media all day long of I hate men, I hate women, I hate this, all these cheating videos, all this stuff that you're retaining this information. Then you go and see a man. Of course, your subconscious mind thinks about that. How do you think you're going to view them? And a lot of women are feminists, and feminists nowadays aren't the real feminists. They're the ones who hate men. How are y'all dating men when you can't stand them? That makes no freaking sense to me. And then there's some men out there, I don't like to say it, but it's true. They don't like women either. They're misogynistic. So if they're trying to date each other in the dating game, plus all that disconnect with the phone, not knowing how to communicate, and then the sneaky links and all that, there's a huge disconnect in the world that I can see big. The love is gone. It ain't there no more. Like, everything's different. Music's different. Everything has changed, like the whole dynamic.
How many of these people on both sides, good people on both sides, how many of these people who are just spewing out this hate, do you think are actually maybe undercover homosexuals? And they just don't want to come out and say, you know, this is really who I am. So at the end of the day, I'm going to hate, but I really want to date on this side, but maybe my culture, maybe my family, whatever it is. Like, do you think any of this is like suppression of their own, you know, coming out?
Oof. Well, in all honesty, I've heard this before, but I've never actually thought that. I'm pretty sure there are some people that are like that, but we're in 2022. I'm not understanding the being ashamed of going to whatever side you want to. You're your own person. Do whatever the heck you want. Want to be with a man or woman? Go for it. I mean, it's your life, but it could be that. I don't personally feel like it's that, but that's a different perspective I've heard of for a little bit now.
Okay, I mean, we still have, you know, big politicians like Lindsey Graham, who just won't come out of the closet, and he's never, you know, been known to date anybody. Cory Booker may be another one. I'm calling names like that, you guys, because this is not for shock value, but this is, you know, most of us don't care what you do. I may care how you do it, because there are some things that are just, you know, it's just like cannabis. I don't want kids seeing cannabis on the billboard, Seattle, Washington. I want kids to be kids, and I want some things to be discreet, and I also don't want to see men taking off men's towels, Seattle, Washington. You know, I don't want to see men taking off women's towels on billboards and posters. It's too much. But also, then how much of this hate, do you think it's because of the broken families? Because if I didn't have a dad, now I hate my dad. Or if I didn't have a mom or she was mean to me, I hate women. Like, how much of that do you think it is?
A lot, maybe like 70%. Most people that I talk to, especially now with doing counseling and stuff, oh man, there's people that I've met in their 40s, 50s, and they're still carrying stuff from their parents. So there's a lot, a lot. And a lot of people don't even take therapy, don't heal, don't anything. So they're going out into the world more upset, more bitter, more angry at the world.
Can you give any examples for the young parents now? I have worked also in CPS, and I have not seen, while working for CPS, some of, hundreds of cases, have not seen, like online now, I'm seeing people curse out their kids, grown or young. And I'm like, who talks to their kids like this? Maybe I'm from another planet, but can you give some examples so a young parent can say, oh, I need to stop that. I didn't think that was wrong because my mother or my father did it to me.
Okay, so there's a video I actually reacted to where this mom was literally showing her daughters, I guess, how dirty they were in the house. And instead of just correcting them, say, hey, you know what, clean up a little bit more, and teaching them how, she's yelling at them, calling them all types of bees, hoes, this and that. I'm like, those are your daughters. Like, what are you doing? And at that, I kind of felt some type of way because she's a Black woman, and like, we already don't have uplifting us. So why are you putting? So there was a video that I basically made, and it was talking about a woman who was showing her daughters not cleaning their room, not taking care of their room. And she was screaming, yelling, them, calling them bees, hoes, all this stuff, being rude. And the fact that it was a Black woman was kind of like baffling. It's sad to see mothers talking to their daughters like that when they hear that on the streets. And I feel like mothers and parents don't understand this. Your kids are sponges. When they're home, they're supposed to be safe and secure. You're supposed to teach them and show them how to communicate with adults before they go outside of the home. So that type of dynamic just bothers me. And I feel like parents should just learn to speak to their kids properly. And that's another thing. If you don't talk to your kids in a way that they are trusting you and feel safe, they're not going to come to you with any type of problem they have. So that's a lot of things I see right now.
Now, have you started on your course or maybe even a book? Because like the old style books, the generation we're trying to hit, unfortunately, they're not going to sit down and read those. So they're going to need audiobooks. They're going to need videos like you're doing. But have you started to put like maybe even like a video course of the game you're already giving, and then saying, how to raise your child 2022 and beyond?
No, I have not started a course, but I probably should. That actually sounds like a really good thing. Someone also was telling me about writing a book, and I was really thinking about that, like writing myself a book or audio for you guys. I'd love to do that with my type of voice.
Yeah, why not? Like, why not be able to, do it all for whatever the audience is? Because this is the thing, because someone will say, yeah, we don't want no book killing unless it's an audio book, and unless I'm locked up or, or on house arrest, I'm not listening to that. But the thing is, you got the different audiences. You have the people who need to hear it for the parenting. You have the people who have the ADHD, but then even the physical copy book is for the people who can give you that $75,000 check to do a tour in a circuit, and they want to see it all. So that's why the great Dr. Eric Thomas does what he does, because you got to hit everybody when you're doing this type of work. Do you see, is because a lot of times people will see only their community and they'll say, oh, that's only happening in my community because I'm Black or because I'm Chinese or because I'm Mexican. I've seen it in all communities, like there's a disconnect, but where are you seeing it mostly?
I see it everywhere, just like you said, but I mostly see it in Hispanic and Mexican households and Black households. And I'm Mexican and Black and Filipino, if you guys didn't know. So yes.
Okay. So man, she can do lumpia.
Yep.
She can do sopa. She can and hit that barbecue and soul food. Oh, okay. Now with that that's a beautiful California mix. How do people take you in your advice? Because, you're able to hit different cultures. And a lot of times people say, yeah, be quiet, or maybe you're not Black enough, or you're not Filipino enough, or you're not Mexican enough to talk, for us. Like, how have you dealt with that?
Well, the one thing about me is, good thing I don't care about what people think about me at all. I really don't. You gotta think about this. If you're not going out of your way to help people, I don't know why people preach to other people who are actually trying to help others. Whether I'm mixed or not, I still have Black, Mexican, and Filipino in me. So I'm doing what I can as a person. I mean, it doesn't bother me one bit. Not the haters, not the comments, nothing.
Okay. And have you had pushback from all three of those mixes? Like, oh, I didn't know that. Or, sometimes in the Hispanic community, they might be like, hey, wait, what do you mean? I'm talking bad about, someone else. You're like, hey, I'm Panoa. You can't say that. That's part of
Yeah.
me. Like, do you ever get caught up in that?
The only people that usually attack me are Black women. I hate to say it, but it's true. I never really get hate from anybody else but Black women all the time, and it kind of sucks. I'm a Black woman. It
Talk
sucks. I don't
about, talk about that. Like, what's the hate? Because very clear when I saw your picture, I'm like, yeah, I already know. I know there's some of that, if not all, because it comes in all flavors and shades. I'm really everybody can and does. Yeah, but what is the hate coming from? Is it the hair? Hey, think you pretty because you got that hair? What is it that people are hating?
Honestly, man, I will make videos. One, I'm going against women code. Two, I'm a Black woman speaking against a lot of things. I made a video defending Black men, and that's when all the Black women, all it was them attacking me for my appearance. No one ever said I was wrong. No one ever said anything, but they just attacked my appearance. I look like I got out of prison, all that stuff. So honestly, I don't know where it comes from, whether it's a jealousy thing or not. Like, that to me is all projection. It tells how much you're like irritated by somebody through a screen. A screen, for real? That trips me out. I'm sorry.
It's crazy how, your look, you can either be too pretty for the women, or, and sometimes they'll say, hey, that woman is not fit enough to talk about that. And I'm like, hold on. Say everybody don't want a skinny, pencil. And who are you? Because you ain't made one human, God made us all to talk about how someone can talk or what they can talk about or what they can wear. I find that interesting that we feel so highly of ourselves, or people to be too ugly, even on the men's side. O'Shea Duke Jackson, YouTuber, will talk about, how people would call him names and you're too dark. And I've heard it from so many different influencers. Like, who are these people who get online to talk about another, especially men, who talk about other men's looks? Like, what type of lame are you? Like, I don't know. I don't get it. Y'all know say.
Me either. Like, the one thing about social media that really baffles me is I feel like in today's society, like the Little Mermaid situation, everybody's bashing that Halle girl, whatever, for, oh, she's a Black Little Mermaid. But when you see somebody like me on the face of something, just because I don't come off soft spoken and I don't talk very like this, doesn't mean that I still don't have the proof to back it up. You know what I mean? We all come in different. Wifeys look different. I feel like people see one pure, innocent looking white woman and think that that's the only ideal version of a wife. No, we come in all different flavors, all different. I've seen Mexican women that are tatted who act just like me, are loyal, all that. So when people judge me for tattoos and little stuff like that, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. You don't get treated right over here.
Well, since you keep bringing it up, tell the people the meaning behind or why the tattoos. I have a couple, and I had to stop myself because I said this is too addictive. Like, I'm gonna be playing with the gun myself soon. Like, like, talk about the tattoos and the meaning, because people will say, oh, well, what prison were you in? Or again, like I said in the beginning, is she an outlaw? Is she, la raza? What is it? And give the game.
So guys, first and foremost, I am not a person who goes to, I've been in jail one time. I don't do all that, y'all. And long story short, all the tattoos, I just love ink. And then how it started too was, I don't know, I covered up some of my scars. I also like the tattooing, just the way it looks. My family's like fully tatted. A lot of men in my family. There are some women that have their whole neck, everything. I'm not even done yet. So people think I'm a criminal now. I'm trying to be blasted where you can't see no skin. All right, guys, buckle up.
Wow, I think you just got the name of your book, when you said covering up your scars. That is, but you could play on words, covering up the scars. And I guess some people might think, and it's none of their dang business, but they can read it in your book. Oh, she's trying to hide or reinvent herself, and there's some hurt and trauma. But it's like, sometimes the ink just feels good.
Yep, it does too. And sometimes I like the way it looks. At once it started by fixing up certain things, and then it became just, oh, I like this now. Now I'm just gonna put what I want now. But all my tattoos, at least to me, have some form of meaning. I didn't get anything just to get it.
Okay. And then I can hear the auntie and the abuela say, but what about when you get my age at 70, 80, and you have all these things? People are going to think what? Or will you be able to be, in society, which we don't even know if we'll have a society by then, the way it
Exactly.
is.
So the one thing about me with that little analogy, y'all, right now I'm very successful because of social media and I'm doing very well for myself. By the time I'm that old in diapers, I'm gonna be a billionaire probably, and I'm not gonna be worried about who's looking at my tattoos. I'll be bathed in freaking ambiance in Bali, please. I don't be worried about all that. Hell no, I'm not about all that. I'll have a man.
Wow. Okay, so let people know. I mean, you're doing well, great on social media. But with that, doing all of that, what is a community give back that you are doing or that you would like to do in the future?
Ooh, so two of the things I'll give you two things. One thing I would love to do, me and my best friend were talking about this. We want to start our own, funded by me actually, where we sit there, get a whole bunch of things and take them to homeless people, either help them get like a motel, help them get a job, like start a project with them, start a new life for them, trying to help people. And then the other thing I want to do is donate bone marrow, because my grandpa passed away from cancer. So cancer is like really, really big to me. I don't talk about this a lot because it's like I don't know, makes me sad, but I want to donate bone marrow and be able to help and maybe give back to like kids and stuff like that. Cause I have a sweet spot for that. Maybe those two things in the future. I'm really, really looking into that one.
Wow, no, that's great. That's great. And you guys, I tell you, the best conversations are done offline. And I say that because I want you to go check out her page. There's gems, there's jewels, tap in, subscribe, and get tapped in, do like, Chris did and send an email and say hi. After, you even do business, she does take advertising. So, she has it perfectly set up on the Instagram too. So you guys can do that, because I have something I want to tell her that I don't want y'all all to know, because the future is going to be, the best is yet to come. It's going to be bright. So you guys make sure you share the game. And any last words you have for them?
Nope. Thank you for having me, guys. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let's take that, baby. Stay blessed, y'all.
Hey family, on November 20th through December 1st, 2022, we will have the all-inclusive Kenya trip. Now, a lot of times people have said, hey, Phil, when's the next trip we'd like to go? I want to see Africa for myself, but this is the time to go. Everything will be taken care of. All excursions are paid. You can do monthly payments. They'll have safari and a 6-city tour. You will see Charlie Island, which is something that we did not see last time on the tour. This tour will be 12 days instead of 7 days. So make sure to secure your place on the trip by going to www.wbsvs.com, make your deposit, and then you can start making your payments, and we'll see you in Kenya.
Hi everyone. Have you ever been curious about visiting Africa? Which African country were you interested in? Kenya, Nigeria, Uganda, South Africa, Ethiopia? Which country are you interested in? My good friend, Kellen Cash Coleman, came up with a course called My First Trip to Africa that'll guide you through this process. It's only $20, and in this course you'll learn about passports, visas, vaccinations that you need before you go there, as well as a budget, how much the trip is going to cost. He also talks about what you should pack, what you should take with you, how you should travel on a budget. Did you know that $100 is worth 1,000 South African rand and over 10,000 Kenyan shillings? So imagine what you can do with $100 back home. I say back home because I'm from Sudan, I'm African, I already know how it's like. I know that, when you convert Canadian and American money, it goes a long way when you're traveling across Africa. So if you're curious, if Africa is a place that you've always wanted to go, always wanted to move there, Kellen Cash is the person to ask. Check out the course. There's a little preview you can listen to before you actually purchase it. If you're interested in this course, visit www.diversifiedgame.com. Don't miss out.